Good morning, everybody. It's Cowboy. It is what the hell day is it? It's Wednesday the 30th. Halloween is tomorrow. The first day of the month is going to be on Friday, and now is actually a pretty tricky time to trade. This is a good time to exit early and often, as I do. Of course, it's not advice. You got to do your own research. But we got a lot of odd news coming up. I think today is like a big day for that. I've talked about this. We have some data coming out from Germany. It may or may not have already hit. Let's just go ahead and take a look at that and see if we have that data yet. Let me see. We have okay. So Chairman Schlegel from Switzerland is going to speak. That's the Swiss National Bank chairman. Let me refresh the screen. I want to see if any data actually came out, because the German prelim CPI hasn't come out yet. So if you're trading the euro, you got to be like super careful. Which reminds me, I need to move my stops on a trade. And that could happen anytime, because look, you can see it on the screen. It's all day. So we don't know what time that announcement is coming. Therefore, we cannot time our trades. Therefore, I'm in a kind of a scalp right now. So I just put my stop to entry on that. And then same thing with the JPY, right? Tentative. You got Bank of Japan policy rate, monetary policy statement, BOJ outlook report, all that stuff is going on right now. So, and that could happen today. And as a matter of fact, I know last month or 2 months ago, the Bank of Japan decided to just say oh, actually, we're going to do it. We're not going to do that today. Again, it's tentative. They can do that. Most of these announcements, you'll notice they're timed. Like, for example, ones that we just had: advanced GDP for the USD, non-farm employment change for the USD. That was all planned for 8:15 a.m. EST and 6:30 a.m. EST. I'm sorry, 8:30 a.m. EST. So you can plan around those, but when you have these tentative or all day events, you just can't plan. So this is a good day to do anything besides trade, or scalp. Like I said, I'm scalping as we speak. Got some scalps on, but it's a little funky time. So, but Bitcoin's really exciting. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Let's see. Okay, BTC USDT. All right, so let me expand this and we'll take a look at the daily chart. Actually, we'll take a look at the weekly. So Bitcoin poked up above some of its resistances and it's really held strong, right? So there's one of the things where we see like Bitcoin will go ahead and maybe tap a resistance and then it'll pull back and then fall. But in this case, it's just holding up, right? So what we're looking at now, that's a weekly chart. That's a chart where each of these candles is a week's worth of price action. And Bitcoin tested its all-time high yesterday. So it actually, right now, it's currently above the highest weekly close of the year. So if Bitcoin are to close above this line right here, above about 71,000, say 220, that's been the highest weekly close we've seen all year. It's above that now. It's almost at 72,000. Bitcoin is not closed this high on the week. Now we got, several days left in this week and we'll see what happens. But what's interesting though is that it's broken that. It's touched almost the all-time high. I mean, it was just a few dollars away from the all-time high. All-time high being, let's get a little more precise with this. All-time high on this exchange being about 73,000, maybe let's just say 800. 73,760, and this topped out yesterday at 73, maybe 650. So you're talking about $100 from its all-time high, and it's holding strong. Bitcoin's actually holding up there. It didn't just tap it and then dump, which is kind of what can happen. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit and take a look at the lower time frame here. We'll look at the daily. I can tell you the algos are pretty bullish. They're, very, very bullish. But once you start to get kind of up against resistances, you'll notice that price will grind a little bit before it actually breaks out. It can happen like that. And right now it touched that all-time high yesterday, and now it's kind of come back down a bit here, right? So it is coming back down. And it's right at that at the highs that were back in May and June, that double top high. So Now that could end up being like a support. It's hard to say what'll happen, but if I were to take a guess, just based on price action, not a guess, but a an analysis really, I would look at it like this: you got to move up, you got to pull back here, you got to move up here, and then you got this box right here. Okay, so that's a kill zone. We've talked about kill zones before. It's basically where price on the way up did a pullback. Very, very simple. You just put a box around the high and the low on the way up. And that pullback is a decent place for price, or that kill zone is a decent place for price to pull back to. And that'd be fine. That'd be great. That happens to coincide with this high right here from back in July. So it's kind of right there. It's within, a few $100s of that. And on top of that, the price action's right there. So now let's go ahead and put a Fibonacci tool on the most recent move up. Now, when we do that, you can kind of start to narrow down where it might pull back to. And this is it could just keep going up, you guys. Like, this doesn't have to pull back. If it did, and of course, I've got some algorithms that give me some clues as to what might happen here. But essentially, the algo is telling me, like, okay, does it want to go up? Does it want to go down? If it does, where's it going to go to? Got a couple of nice messages. Lisa, appreciate it. And we got Justin. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for the kind comments there. The algos right now are bullish, but they're telling me price might pull back a little bit, and it could pull back right here to this. The most likely area is going to be in this box. And then I'll go ahead and refine that with these Fibonacci levels, because price does like to go to Fibonacci levels. And as a Cool Cat, one of our members likes to point out, Bitcoin does like to pull back to the 786. It does happen pretty often. So right now, I'd say the most likely levels, there's always a 382 pullback if price is in FOMO, right? And these 382, 786, 618, those are all Fibonacci levels. Okay, so it's a Fibonacci tool. Come to Algo Factory, we teach you how to use it. And so that's what those numbers mean, right? Okay, so with that, we can add a little bit more data on here to refine where price might go. And it's going to be done with volume nodes. It's going to take a look at where a lot of volume has occurred on that way up. And where the volume has occurred, where a lot of trading happened on the way up, is a decent chance the price is going to head back down to that area if it heads down at all. And I'm going to use a fixed range volume profile. And I can tell you it's right there at that 786. So here is where the volume is. If price is going to go down, the most likely place it's going to go is right to that yellow box, most likely. So that would be between 66.8 and 67,200. Again, it doesn't have to go there. It might even just stop right here at a likely place if we're in FOMO land. If price really is that strong and it wants to go up, a likely place for it to stop would be right here at this volume node. There's no real volume to speak of for about $1,000 or at least $500 below that. So this volume node is maybe where price will go, which is basically about 71,200. So if we're in the middle of a real breakout, FOMO land, right, then price will probably only go down to that level and keep going like this, right? That's if we're in FOMO. If not, if we're going to look at more of a real pullback, it could go down to this 382 or just below it, right? You have this volume nodes here, but the more likely place would be either like 68,000, the 618, that's the golden ratio. That's the most likely place for most things to pull back to, or it's going to go grab this liquidity down here, right? So we have the kill zone. We've got the Fibonacci numbers. We've got the volume nodes. These are all tools that we put together to determine where price might go. And anytime you can determine where price might go to a statistical degree of probability, you can make money, right? That's how that works in trading. So we're going to use one more tool here. Yeah, that's right. Respect. Cool Cat's been studying that. So he's been testing on that 782s. So let's go ahead and take a look at the liquidity nodes on the Kingfisher. And we'll see where that is. All right, so most liquidity right now is sitting between 67,000. I'd say let's make it a little more specific. 67.8 to about 69.1. So let's take a look at where that is in the chart. 67.8 is up here. 7.8 to 69.1 is up here. So this box that I'm going to go ahead and code, I don't know, maybe I'll code it magenta. That box is where the liquidity is on the Kingfisher. So that's where a lot of people have basically gone long, right? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this volume node to clean things up. We already have our levels marked out. Get rid of the fibs. Get rid of the kill zone. Make this chart a bit cleaner. Okay, so we can really use this now. All right, so people have gone long on the leveraged exchanges, and when they have gone long, they have liquidation points where if the price goes past that, their trade is liquidated. And these exchanges make a lot of money when that happens. So price tends to be pushed down that direction, but price has to want to go there in order for that to be possible. So I would say the most likely scenario here, if there's a strong pullback, is going to be a pullback at least down to this 618. Which is where all the liquidity is. And it might even push down here to this liquidity, which is down at the 66.9. So I'd say 67,000 to 68,000, or no, 67 to 69. That's the most likely area. We're almost done here. We got V the Guerilla. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good, buddy. We're seeing the 3.8 algo at work, and what you said is correct. We're going to see a beat down to the 67 to 68.
Oh, there you have it. So V the Guerilla, who is scary at understanding where Bitcoin goes, scary accurate, has gone on and done that. So yeah, Golden Con, we're almost done here. So if you want us to chart things for you, you got to show up at the beginning of the show, which is 8:30 a.m. EST every single weekday that is not a federal holiday. In this case, via the Guerilla, can you get us over to the private live lab?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, listen, for less than the price of a bottle of water, $1.66 a day, you can be part of the most elite trading, education, and development team on planet Earth. Right here, algofactory.tech. Join us and be part of the greatest income stream and the greatest transfer of wealth in human history is about to take place. Learn how to benefit from it. With that being said, Cowboy, let's get into it.
Join us or die.